Is the new Green Day album, Saviors, any good? Is it well produced? Did they really copy that Pink song? And did they even copy more stuff? Well, I definitely found a couple more Easter eggy referential thingies in there, for sure, so stick around for that. But before we start, if you're new here, I'm a music producer specializing in punk rock and pop music, and in this video I'm gonna give my general first impressions of the production of this album, and also my subjective impressions of each track. And if you're one of the new generation kids who have no patience to listen to a full record, I'll even give you my top 3 songs at the end of the video. That way you can just skip to those songs when you're on Spotify. So I hope that's cool with you, and let's get started. First of all, let me just say I'm a huge Green Day fan. So my opinion might be a little bit tilted, but is it tilted to the positive side or to the negative side? Well, let me be honest right from the beginning. I didn't like most of this album. But Julian, you just said you're a huge Green Day fan. How can you be hating on them like this? Well, first of all, I'm not hating, but being a Green Day fan might be the reason why this album sounds so boring to me. Because I've grown up listening to their songs over and over again. And to me, in my personal opinion, a lot of the songs in this album sound like a worse version of an older, better Green Day song. So there's nothing new in there for me to listen to. And it makes no sense to listen to this new record if you can just put an old record on that sounds better and has better songs in it. But now, saying that, the production is quite amazing. Of course, not only this album's played by probably the tightest punk rock band alive right now. It's produced by Rob Cavallo and Chris lorde-alge, yeah, the CLA from the plugins. And these dudes, they're just old school, you know? They know how to make a rock album. But are their styles starting to sound a little bit dated? Let's put a pin on that and talk about it just a little bit later. The thing that makes this album stick out to me, that's different from all the other current albums out there right now, is that this one actually sounds like a band playing in a place together. That is very rare nowadays. The drums are roomy and punchy, they're not completely quantized to a grid, they're not squeezed to the maximum, and even though Tré Cool is probably one of the most robotic sounding drummers out there in a good way, it still sounds less robotic than quantizing and compressing the hell out of your drums. The bass is just awesome. It just has this really crunchy, nice quality to it that really helps Mike Dirnt's playing, because he plays it quite aggressively, right? And it has a lot of top end, but it's so smooth, it's so nice, it's so pleasing. It's perfect for punk rock. I would dare to say this is the best picked bass sound recording that I've heard in years. The guitars also are super well recorded, super fat sounding. Green Day has always done this thing where they crunch up the guitars just enough for the song without over distorting them, which make them sound way more rhythmic and way more punchy, and that's perfect for fast-paced rock. A lot of times I make that mistake of just wanting the heaviest guitar on the planet, you know? But I always gotta stop myself and be just like, remember Green Day, you do not have to distort your guitars to the maximum. Another amazing thing about this record is that the guitars and the bass are coming out of actual amplifiers in a room, recorded with microphones. That's amazing nowadays. Did you hear that, Blink-182? An actual amp, not just a Kemper or an amp sim or whatever. I'm guilty of always trying to convince myself that amp sims nowadays sound so good, they're getting there, and I'm just too poor and my apartment is just too small for an actual guitar amp. But holy shit, guitar amps just sound better. They still sound better. Recording a guitar amp just places the guitar in the real world, you know, it makes it alive. And if you record it right, there's a smoother quality to it that is just not achieved in the digital world so far. Of course, the best digital amp sim still gonna sound better than the cheapest guitar amp. But these guys have Green Day money, so they can just have any amp they want and record that amp in any studio that they want. The vocals? Well, the vocals sound amazing. No auto-tune inside. Did you hear that? Blink-182. But of course, who needs autotune if you have Billy Joe singing? His voice was just made to be recorded. It's amazing. Now, I was saying a lot of good things about the production, but there are a couple of bad things that I don't like in this album. First of all, I just felt that every song in this album could be 5 BPMs faster. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because the melodies are kind of boring, but I caught myself over and over again just wishing that the damn song would be over already. Which is cruel, but it's true. And another thing that I didn't like is back to the old school guys producing old school records, right? And just doing it the old school way. CLA and Rob Cavallo did what was expected of them. Nothing wrong with that. They produced a rock album that sounds like a rock album. But does it sound like a 2024 rock album? Maybe not. Not all the way, at least. I feel they could have spiced it up a little bit. And I'm not asking for trap hats on a Green Day album, you know? Please don't do that. But maybe more creative panning, using LFOs to spice up the guitar sounds sometimes, and more unusual guitar sounds in general would be great. Also using reverb in different ways. Now we have so many good digital reverbs inside DAWs that you can do so much crazy shit with. They should have tried some crazier stuff with reverb as well. I don't know, I just wish they challenged themselves and the band to be a little bit different. That's all I wish. So yeah, that's enough talking about the technical side of things. Let's quickly go through each track and just give my subjective opinion about them. The American Dream is killing me. This song just sounds like a continuation of American Idiot. And spoiler alert, we're gonna get a lot of that in this album. The problem is, it's not as good as American Idiot. So why would I listen to this one instead of just listening to American Idiot? It doesn't make sense. Look Ma, No Brains. Now this one sounds more like an old school Green Day song, but again, it's not as good as the old ones. What can I do? The melody is a bit still and it goes nowhere. The drums are just what Trickle does every time. And it's cool, but okay, I would just rather listen to Nice Guys Finish Last or something like that. Bobby sucks. The beginning of the song sounds a bit like a clean version of When He Comes Around. And then it falls into this chorus that sounds a bit like Weezer for some reason, at least in my head. But the screaming vocals in the chorus are quite cool. This one's cool enough for me to add to a playlist, for example, and just listen to it more often. By the way, I think I'm doing a punk rock public playlist for everybody to listen to the songs that I like with me. So there's probably a link in the description below to a Spotify playlist with my favorite punk rock songs. Maybe some surprises in there as well. One-Eyed Bastard. This is the controversial one because the riff is in the same key and it sounds the same as the Pink riff from that old song of hers. Maybe the only Pink song that I know. And everybody has been talking about that one, but honestly, it's such a simple riff on the pentatonic scale. Like seriously, how many riffs are out there? It's just bound to happen, right? I don't think they copied it on purpose. But there's one thing in this song that offends me way more. That the chorus melody, to me, sounds a lot like Self-Esteem by The Offspring. Okay, sorry, my microphone's down here now, but I was just trying to play one song after the other and they literally just fell into each other. Check this out. Vendetta is a friend of mine. Revenge is sweeter than wine. But she came over, I lost my nerve. I took her back and she made me desert. Away, yeah, it's a bit similar. It's the three first phrases really very similar. Just check one out compared to the other. Green Day. Vendetta is a friend of mine. Revenge is sweeter than wine. Offspring. I wrote her off for the damn time today and practice all the things I would say. But she came over. You get it. Dillema. This song really makes apparent the main problem of this album. That these songs are just a little bit too slow. And again, the chords are simple, the rhythm is simple, which is all good, it's punk rock, right? But without a really new and cool melody on top of it. This song just doesn't make itself needed. 1981. This one's a pretty old school sounding punk rock song. And on this one you can really hear my point that the guitars don't have to be that distorted to sound aggressive. It even makes them more punchy, really. But the beat is a bit boring again. I really think Trickle needs to open up his mind to new drum grooves. Really. I don't know what's going on. But the guitars do sound really good in this song. It even changes to a more boomier, heavier sound when the palm muting comes in. And I think that's pretty cool. Just because we play punk rock doesn't mean we have to use the same guitar tone across all of the song. We can be creative. Goodnight Adeline. Adeline? I don't know. I'm foreigner. The beginning is just cookie cutter punk rock, but this one gets a bit more interesting because, oh wow, it actually has a really interesting melody in it. And it has this kind of 80s glam rock vibe that I really like. And an 80s vibe with Billy Joel singing, it's just awesome. It even has an 80s sounding guitar solo there in the middle. And a typical 80s key change in the end. It goes up. Oh, and I just found this on Wikipedia. Butch Walker played guitar in this song, and apparently he's actually from an 80s glam rock band called South Gang. I don't know them, but I guess they were really going for that 80s sound in this track. Coma City. It starts well with some cool drum accents, but then it falls to the boring melody and boring drum beat problem again. Corvette Summer. This one sounds like the 80s again. And I'm a sucker for a cowbell. It's still a bit too slow in my opinion, but because the melody is cool, it doesn't feel as sluggish as the others. Suzie Chapstick. This song really bugs me because it reminds me of a Nelly song from the 90s.
Will I ever see your face again? Not just photos from an Instagram. No matter what I do, all I think about is you.
It freaks me out, so I don't like it. Strange days are here to stay. Oh no. Another American Idiot sounding song that doesn't sound as good as an American Idiot song. There you go. Living in the 20s. This one sounds a bit like Bad Religion, which is cool. And even the guitar solo has that messy quality that a lot of Bad Religion songs solos have. So I like it. It's cool. It's not amazing, but it's cool. Father to Son. The cool thing about this one is that the acoustic guitar playing in the beginning is so flawed. It's so full of little mistakes. And that makes it very human. It's very cool. We're missing that nowadays. Actual people playing actual instruments and not being fixed later in the editing. And not only that, this song is really heartwarming in the beginning, but then the full band comes in and it just becomes a little awkward. I don't know. The strings sound so cheesy. And in my opinion, they should have just kept the acoustic guitar, the piano, and the tambourine from the beginning. Maybe add 1 or 2 strings in there. Not this whole massive orchestra in the background. Saviors. This one starts with the typical Green Day megaphone vocal sound, so it kind of made me scared it was just gonna be another American Idiot sounding song, and it was, so there you go. Fancy Sauce. And to finish this album, the slowest song, I think. And Jesus, this album is slow. Billy Joel's voice though in this song sounds amazing. He still got it as a singer, but damn it, go faster, okay? I don't know. So all in all, did I like this album? No. I feel that Green Day generally has been a little bit stuck with their songwriting lately, which is totally normal for older bands. It happens to literally all of them. I mean, how many Green Day sounding songs can Green Day really write before it starts getting repetitive? Even I, because I grew up listening to Green Day, sometimes catch myself writing Green Day sounding songs and I have to stop it because I'm not Green Day. Making new songs is hard. I struggle with it every day. And I don't even have tens of hit records behind me, so yeah. There you go. But all that being said, I did like 3 songs and they are my top 3. Number 3 is Corvette Summer. Number 2 is Bobby Socks. And number 1 is Goodnight Adeline. I don't know. What's your top 3? Let me know in the comments below. And also let me know if there's any other albums that you want me to talk about. I'm happy to listen to whatever you guys send me. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do, please press all the buttons around me in this world that help me right now. And I see you all next time. Bye.